Good morning.
Morning.
Good evening to all of you, wherever you are in the world. Here I am back again. I hope you all had an enjoyable presentation with Beth and Kelly. I heard that she had to use her own Zoom, so I don't actually have the recording of that yet. But when I get it, I'll put it up and then I can get a look at it myself. So I hope you're all well, and welcome to anybody who's completely brand new to this sharing of self-help JIN SHIN JYUTSU. JIN SHIN JYUTSU is the art of happiness, longevity, or physiologically harmonizing the life energy, or chi, or sometimes called ki, as it moves through specific energy pathways in the body. Due to lifestyle, Okay, so could everyone make sure they're always muted unless I request otherwise? Thank you. So as I was saying, energy moves through organ function pathways that the acupuncturists call meridians, and it moves through different levels of our being, the thoughts, words, and deeds, or soul, mind, and body levels. And whether it flows congruently and harmoniously depends on how well we've balanced those three areas of our body. And with lifestyle, all kinds of other issues occurring in our life, these pathways can get blocked and therefore prohibit the harmonious function of our energy field. We're fortunate in JIN SHIN JYUTSU, we can adjust our energy field with what we call safety energy locks, and there are 26 of them, left and right of the spine and in the arms. And when we place our hands, palms down, back of hands, to fingers or thumbs on these energy locks, they facilitate the release of any blocked energy. These safety energy locks are the diameter of your individual palm of your hand. So when you place your palm, the size of the energy lock relates to the size of your palm. So JIN SHIN JYUTSU as an art was brought to the West by an American-Japanese master by the name of Mary Eno Burmeister, who had learned the practice and wisdom from her master, Master Jerome Morai. And this was during the period of the Second World War era, where she actually learned and continued some 17 plus years afterwards in correspondence with Master Morai, eventually creating textbook material for both students to learn how to practice on themselves and on others, and eventually the development of an organization which spread the message of JIN SHIN JYUTSU throughout the world. And today it is basically practiced and taught in most countries around the world. I'm not sure if it's gone to any other planets apart from our Earth, but who knows? Anyway, so here we are today, moving through April and moving through the constellation of Aries, the Ram. In JIN SHIN JYUTSU, one of the understandings we have is what goes on above us has a reflection below us. So for argument's sake, as an example, above the head could be said to be the more subtler heavenly realms, and below the waist, the more earthly, denser realms. And energy is understood to circulate in spirals in clockwise directions from these subtler realms to the denser realms. And in the subtler realms, there are the constellations of the stars, and they do have an effect on our body. In fact, in certain understandings, they represent the laws of cause and effect, how we have accumulated harmony or disharmony in our energy field is represented by these different constellations with these different names, these different signs, and they're reflected in 12 houses in astrological charts. I once studied the art and used to actually do astrology charts for people, but I don't do it right now. It's a very deep science, and there's different correlations according to which culture you were brought up in. And the Ayurvedic tradition have another take on astrology. The Chinese have another take on the astrology. By the way, Ayurvedic comes from continental India. But the main basis is this principle of as above, so below, from subtle to dense. There is the interaction of subtle energies which dense down and form our body. And we talked about the formation of our body through the order of creation. And we've been talking about that, I think, for the past 6 or 7, maybe more, editions of Harmonize2Energize. And today we're going to look to the first organ function energy that the third depth liver gallbladder energy or blood essence creates as it moves through the passage of creation. And that is the lung, or second depth, which includes lung and large intestine. And Aries, or the lungs, are governed by the effects of the constellation Aries and its interaction with all the other energy fields within us and without us. And so at this time of year, the energy of the lungs is enhanced, uplifted, accelerated, intensified, whichever word you want to use, as a result of this magnetic interaction of constellation of Aries. And it's a fire sign. And so we're looking at the start of a new cycle, spring, energy moving up the shoots of plants, energy tending to rise more, and the lungs are an ascending, or they are created through an ascending action of chi. The energy moves up the body, and the second part of second depth energy field, large intestine, moves the energy down the body. So it's not surprising that when we move energy up the body, it can feel quite strong, quite expansive, quite intense, quite powerful. The ram, Aries is often called. And it's significant, I think, that we understand that whilst the sixth depth energy we've talked about before represents that big breath of life, which is bringing in light to the body, without what Mary would refer to as the small or little b breath of life, the lungs are important because they facilitate the movement of that light, head to toe, skin to bone, throughout the body, feeding all the other organs. Without that breath, the baby does not live. And as we breathe in the essence from third depth, and it begins to invigorate the 3 levels of our being, soul, mind, and body. All right, so in JIN SHIN JYUTSU, we have practices that we can use to enhance the lung field. Because during this time, some of you may, because of restrictions in your lung energy, may feel restrictions at this time are, as I said earlier, more intensified and enhanced. But fortunately, JIN SHIN JYUTSU has provided us with ways that we can facilitate the harmonization of those blockages. And if there's any people here today who are born during the time of Aries, it's basically March the 21st to April the 21st, you may or may not feel invigorated at this time. You may feel that you're bursting with energy, big S Superman. Or you may feel miserable. you may be gasping for air. You may have asthmatic conditions which are showing up even more. But it's a beautiful opportunity during this particular period to tap in to how the cosmos is supporting us, bringing in that small or little breath of life to enhance. This is how we are nurtured by Mother Nature in all its cycles and ways of keeping us in balance. It's beautiful, really. There's this constant ability for nature with all its forms to give us what we need. Our role is to open up and receive. And how do we open up and receive? In JIN SHIN JYUTSU, we empty ourselves first in order to receive. So the exhale is important in order to receive more. Now, some of you, like most of us, were trained to inhale before you exhale. That's okay. Just practice if you want, if you like, to get used to emphasizing the exhale. Because energy needs to be released. That which we do not need needs to be let go of. And it needs to form the basis of what we do need through the regeneration inhale. So we let go in order to build something new, in short. And all the time we're holding on to stuff that we don't need or the past with programs that aren't working for us, meaning thoughts that aren't working for us, feelings that are blocking our energy field, we're not going to progress as quickly and as smoothly and as harmoniously as perhaps we would like or in fact need to do. And these days, I believe more than any other time, perhaps it's just a repetition of something that's happened in the past, but we're living through very intense times, times of great transformation and change. So I feel it's very important that we expand our ability to let go. And the lungs are really good ways of helping us to do that. Because as we breathe in and expand our whole thoracic cavity, we can give a push to what is no longer required and let it go. Breathe it out. You really owe it to yourself, I also believe, to practice this form of letting go, because you will discover as you let go, you don't actually need the things that you were holding on to. 9 times out of 10, your emotional attachments have made you think that they're more important. So you hold on. When you start practicing letting go and breathing in, refreshing your energy field, you may come to realize I was holding on for reasons that are not life supporting. And we all want to support life. I feel we do. So when I practice JIN SHIN JYUTSU self-help, I practice it around the 36 breaths, which Mary Burmeister introduced in her books, the self-help books. And I've said in the leader in the chat room, there's self-help books which you can obtain by going to the JIN SHIN JYUTSU website. And in these 3 self-help books, she emphasized the balancing through simple self-help techniques, the balancing and harmonizing of energy. And she introduced the 36 breaths, I believe, in self-help book 3. She had studied numerology, and a 3 and a 6 add up to 9, and the 9 in numerology is end of a cycle, beginning of a new. And when we do 4 sets of these 9 breaths, we're ending and beginning things. And each time we do this, we're moving this pattern of subtle energy to denser energy, we're moving it down. So I personally feel it's a very powerful way for complete beginners and long-time students to practice, especially because sometimes when we place our hands on our energy locks, those 26 I mentioned, we don't always feel that the energy is moving. How do we know if it's moving? We can feel a pulse like you would on the radial artery of the wrist. It's the blood pulse. Beneath the blood pulse is the energy pulse, which is what we ultimately want to hear. But the blood pulse is what most people hear first. And then as our listening ability expands, we can hear the energy. And when you study the art of JIN SHIN JYUTSU in greater depth, you learn what each of those pulses represent. They all correlate with organ functions and different depths in the body. And I've been using that word depth, and maybe there's new people who are going, what are you talking about? Look upon it as a level of energy, a frequency and vibration of energy, just like the different colors of the rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. They're all at different rates of vibration and frequency. This is what we're talking about. That's all. And as they come into the body, they connect with our personal vibration to enhance it. So, as I mentioned earlier, lung, stroke, large intestine are second depth. There's a lot we could talk about my second depth, but that's not the remit of this discussion. But we're talking about the organs that function to enhance second depth, the lungs. Those of you that have studied JIN SHIN JYUTSU and have become practitioners perhaps, or at least done one of the 5-day basic classes, will have textbook 1 and textbook 2. Textbook 2 is where the lung function energy can be found, the flow for it. And Mary Burmeister said that if we wanted to practice any kind of self-help beyond what she had related to or relayed in her self-help books, the first 2 steps or the first step and the last step of any of those flows will act as a self-help. The first step gives your energy a push, and the last step pulls it through the pathway, the push and the pull, which I've mentioned before. And the lung flow that we're going to do has a left and a right flow. All left flows encourage an exhale, and right flows encourage an inhale. For those of you that are completely new, I would encourage you to start with the left flow, or at least the steps of the left flow that I'm going to show you to begin with, to get used to this idea of the exhale. Those of you that are more experienced, you can choose either one by connecting to the safety energy locks and finding out which side seems to be needing your help. All right. So when we look at the first step of the left flow, the lung, the left hand, which is the left side here, is going to go under the left rib cage, and the right hand is going to go under the left shoulder girdle here. This is safety energy lock 14. This is safety energy lock 22. And you can place fingers, thumbs if it's easier, back of hand if it's easier, on these safety energy locks here. Okay. And this step on the 14 is the anchor. It stays here throughout the flow. This hand moves. Now what I'm going to do is move this hand for the second set of 9 breaths to the opposite side 13. And this is the last step of the left lung flow. So you would start here for 9 exhalation inhalations. And then you would move this hand to the 13, which is the nipple area, to do the last step. So you've got the push and pull. All right. If you're going to do the right side, the right hand is going to go on the right, underneath the right rib cage, and the left hand is going to go underneath the right shoulder girdle. And then for the last step, it's going to go to that left 13 on the nipple. Okay, so those 2 steps, either left or right, will represent 18 exhalation inhalations. Then the third set of practice will be 9 exhalation, inhalations holding either left or right thumb, which is where the lung meridian comes through on the fingers. And then the last 9 exhalation, inhalations will be a combination of another relationship with that thumb. It'll be the thumb over the left ring finger or thumb over the right ring finger. And actually, this is one of those positions that you can do simultaneously. You can hold them both. And this is a mudra, which features in the Mediator self-help flow, for those of you that know that flow. And its role is to expand the thoracic cavity even more, so those lungs can exhale and inhale anymore, much more. So let us begin. Make a choice, left or right side. Left hand, if it's going to be the left flow, is going to go underneath the left rib cage. Right hand is going to go under the left shoulder girdle. Otherwise, it's the reverse for the right side. All right. And we're going to begin like that for 9 exhalation, inhalations. And you're listening for a pulse here and a pulse here under the rib cage. And that will tell you that both these safety energy locks are communicating, which means energy is flowing congruently through them. Now, don't just get fixated on this is all I'm listening for. It's a whole body breath we're dealing with. The light enters the safety energy lock at the back of the neck, goes through the groin area, the 15 to the big toe, and reverses, comes up from the big toe all the way up through the hip line to back to the 4. This is like a section of that big major flow that we're homing in on. All right. So think in terms of the energy is moving from head to toe, skin to bone, and then from toe to head, skin to bone. And it's focusing on this section. Hopefully that's clear. Close your eyes, sit up as straight as you can, keeping your spine as straight as possible, if you can. If you need back support, then sit on a cushion or something. Keep your feet as flush to the ground as you can. Feel the connection with the earth, with your toes, the pad of the foot, the heel of the foot. Perhaps feel as if they're glued to the earth. Because we want this energy to move heaven to earth, earth to heaven, head to toe, toe to head. Breathe out and then in, equaling 1 breath 9 times with this position. Here we go. And you go at your own speed. Your metabolic rate is likely to be different to everybody else's. Just follow the flow. Keep your shoulders as relaxed as possible. Feel them melting down, down, down into your feet. And allow the energy to flow down. Connecting with the safety energy locks down the front and up the back. Don't worry if you lose count, just keep on exhaling head to toe, inhaling toe to head. Just letting go in order to receive. And we're receiving cosmic purified energy from all around us, from the earth, 360 degrees around us. And this is feeding all the cells in our body, strengthening us. And if you notice a change in body temperature, maybe you're feeling warmer, sometimes you might feel cooler, but generally that's a good sign. If you're beginning to feel the energy flow. Aries we mentioned is a fire sign, so it's possible you will feel greater warmth in the body. You're heating up. And when you reach the 9th exhalation inhalation, just slip into the neutral zone and become an observer of how you feel. That's only one set of 9, but already there's going to be, or there has been, a change. Your lung energy has begun to feed all the cells in the lungs and the energy pathways and strengthen your lung capacity. So maybe you were feeling, I didn't get that flow connection between my hands. So we're gonna tweak it by pulling the energy down now. And like I said, the left hand or the right hand, depending on which side of the flow, is going to be the anchor on the 14, and that right or left hand, which is on the 22, left or right, is going to move to the opposite 13, which is the nipple. If the nipple area is sensitive, go to the center 13, which is the center of the sternum. And this is the last step of the lung flow. The first should be last and the last should be first. We're going to pull some of that energy through now. So let us begin exhaling, inhaling 9 times. And remember, we're not taking a breath, we're receiving a breath on the inhale. So it's a letting go in order to receive. There's plenty of energy in the universe. However, sometimes through fear or through experiences that have created a sense of lack, we don't trust that the universe is our biggest supplier of energy. We look outside of that and think, oh, maybe money, maybe a relationship, maybe this, maybe that. And maybe we forget that all those things are just aspects of a total energy interaction in our energy field. Parts of the greater sum, but not the sum. So we seek to bring all those aspects into harmony so that we remember the oneness, the sum of all the parts. So letting go of what is no longer needed at this time, so that you can expand and move into the next aspect of growth in your life. Nothing is ever lost. It's always there. It's just whether we choose to keep it uppermost in our consciousness. And we seek, in JIN SHIN JYUTSU, harmony, so that all aspects of our life come into balance. And then as you reach the 9th exhalation, inhalation, with this last step of the lung flow, again, just pause, observe, see how you're feeling, feel how you're seeing. "18 exhale, inhales later, you will have changed. So the third practice will be holding left or right thumb. Now, in JIN SHIN JYUTSU, Mary would talk about if the thumb was in harmony, all the other fingers, which are related to other organ function energies and depths, etc., many things, everything else will be in harmony. Now, why is that? Well, because the representation of the thumb there is actually that lung energy being created by the essence of third depth after it's been invigorated by sixth depth. So if that's out, the energy is not going to transfer through to the next level, which will actually be also represented by the thumb, stomach, and spleen. So already you've created a roadblock. There's not going to be enough energy to feed all these other energy fields. Are you with me? So thumbs, Mary would say, were the leader. They were like the conductor. Practicing with holding something as simple as your thumb may change your whole life. And in fact, holding the thumb, or safety energy lock number 1, which is reflected on the thumb, for an hour a day, Mary said, for a year, could totally change every aspect of your being. So this may seem simple, but it's also powerful. So choose left or right, and just keep your fingers like that around the thumb, left or right. New people, as I say, I would suggest start with the left to practice the exhale. And let us begin. Sit up straight, drop shoulders, close eyes, and we're going to do 9 exhalations with our left or right thumb. Here we go. Remember to feel that connection with the feet and the earth, and that thumb relationship with the stomach and spleen, the earth element, is enhanced when we have that connection with the earth element. We need the earth to balance and nourish us, and that's partly why the earth element continues to circulate throughout all the other elements, throughout all the seasons, Indian summer, as they call it. It's always present, grounding everything else. And again, as you reach the 9th exhalation, inhalation, observe, see how you feel, what's happening, notice how you feel in your body. How do you feel emotionally? Breathing techniques are often used to help us integrate our emotional responses in a more harmonious way. Did your emotional response change from the beginning till now? So for the last of the 9 exhalation inhalations, we'll do this mudra, which I showed before, which is part of the self-help mediator flow. But because of the relationship with the ring and the thumb, both help in lung, and in fact, large intestine with this ring finger too, it helps expand that whole lung cavity, the whole thoracic cavity, the whole thing, so that the mediator, which by the way, crisscrosses the central line of the body, can do that. And the mediator keeps the left and right sides of the body in harmony with the center, the main centrum. And that's what we want ultimately. So you can do both. If you prefer just to do one, put the other hand on your thigh or something. But here you go. Pad of thumb over nail of ring finger. 9 exhalation inhalations. Here we go. I was told that Mary Burmeister, would use this finger hold position mudra when she was either walking up an incline, a hill, a mountain, or running, because naturally it allowed the lungs to expand and contract more effectively. So those of you that like going for walks or climbing mountains, maybe you want to practice this to enhance capability of your lungs to draw in more oxygen, invigorate your cells, give you the stamina to finish the climb or the walk or even the run. And if you didn't sense this head to toe, toe to head configuration, maybe now in this last set of 9, you can get that connection. The lungs energize the heart and support the kidneys, the 2 main progenitors of energy movement in the body, fire and water. So with our breath, we are helping both descending, ascending. Water tends to descend to the ground, flows to the ground. Fire tends to rise up. So how powerful is this? Maybe that's why there's more safety energy locks in the depth, which correlates lung and large intestine, the second depth. 15 in all. Maybe that's why some of the bigger labels can occur if this depth is not freed up. Think about it. Maybe you want to join the rams as they climb a hill or a mountain and feel the invigorated energy field the higher you go, where generally speaking, the air is more pure, perhaps not in Phoenix or Los Angeles, but maybe in Switzerland, the higher you go. The air is more rarefied. Perhaps that's why some animals like to move up and roam in the hills. Just a thought. Okay, so as you reach the 9th and the 36th breath of this cycle, just observe how you feel. I can see some questions, or at least one, in the chat room. Yeah, you know what, Gabriella? When you're tired and you do some of these exercises, you may feel that you need to fall asleep. Yeah, we're feeling sleepy. I mean, I don't know what time of day. I do know what time of day it is in Holland, at least, but you know, it's about 8:30, 8:45 in Holland, and maybe it is in Switzerland too, 9 p.m. Yeah. Okay, so maybe your body clock is getting ready to wind down. Yeah, maybe, or maybe you've had a busy day. And you know what? When you start releasing tension at the time when the body is beginning to prepare for the night rest, as it were, you might get sleepy, and that's okay. Sleep is good. Sleep helps relax the whole body, the whole systems. And yeah, so whenever you practice anything with JIN SHIN JYUTSU, whatever happens, yeah, you can do that, Carol. Hold both palms at once, each placed in the palm of the opposite hand. Yeah, you can do that. That's the beauty, or one of the beauties of JIN SHIN JYUTSU. It's flexible. Sleepy in California. There you go. Well, you've had a lot of weather changes there, haven't you? And you know, the body reacts to weather changes. 22 is the great adapter, by the way. And if we have or haven't adapted well to change, our body will respond accordingly, and sleep is one of the ways it will do that. It will do repair. And it will, as it relaxes our muscles more, we will draw in more chi, and then the whole body begins to calm down. But as there's less light around, unless you're one of these people who's a night owl, the natural tendency of the nervous system is to sleep. So, I hope everyone experienced some of the RAM energy. Carol, you need to contact if you're looking for a practitioner, you need to contact the JIN SHIN JYUTSU office, David Burmeister. Let me put the phone number there. Yeah, that's the phone number, 480-998-9331. If you want to find out about practitioners in your area. Some practitioners are on the locator on the website, so we can have a quick look at the website if you want. There's the JIN SHIN JYUTSU website, JSJ Inc.'s website, and we're looking here, or I'm looking here, at the 5-day basic seminar, which is going on currently in Tucson with Sarah Harper. That's actually a live one. Those of you that have already done a part 1 can join her for a part 2. There's all the information that's on the homepage. But practitioners, you would go to the menu at the top, Carol, and click on practitioners and do a search, US in this case, and it has all the links that you need. And if there's a practitioner in your area that's signed up to this system, they'll be here. If not, that number, 480-998-9331, David will be happy to give you some information if he can from perhaps the database. Now we're on, let's have another look. This is the JIN SHIN JYUTSU. Hey there, Tom. I haven't seen you forever. Good to see you. It just coincide of you. I hope you're doing well, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you. Yeah, this is the JIN SHIN JYUTSU Spirit, Mind, Body website, which I've honed in on here. If you go and look under upcoming classes, there's live classes here, which are all represented, all advertised here. That's another website where you'll find out what's going on in the JIN SHIN JYUTSU world as a whole. All right. So here we are again, drawing to the close of yet another Harmonize2Energize. I hope that was helpful to you all. It's always a great pleasure for me to share this work with you. And next week, we've got a mystery presenter, happy to say, someone from Europe this time. And looking forward to that. And so make a note in your diaries if you want. Next week is going to be a mystery presenter. I'm just about back on the planet after my visit to the UK, in case you were wondering. And this was the perfect flow to do. Oh, yes, Yvonne. It is Easter, yes, resurrection. Carol, yes, official JSJ website, jsjinc.net. That's right. Yes, for those of you that connect to the festival of Easter, the celebration of Easter, happy Easter to you. Resurrect yourself through the breath of life. Let go of attachment to anything and breathe in the energy of the new. And one way of looking at that whole process, that whole understanding of the Easter tradition is resurrecting the new from the old. We let go of something in order to bring out something new. And of course, the story is the symbolism of the Christ energy and the resurrection. So with that, I wish you all a wonderful, peaceful, joyful rest of the day. And I look forward to getting the replay out to you. I understand that the replay for Kelly's class isn't up, the class that she presented last week, and I will get that from Beth Lendrum, and I will put that up so those of you that didn't see that, or those of you that want to revisit Kelly, can do so. And of course, Kelly will be doing an animal class live here in Arizona, actually, April 21st through the 23rd. And you can find out all about that on that JIN SHIN JYUTSU Spirit, Mind, Body website. And there should be other advertisements. I think I'll go and put it on Facebook so you can sign up if you like. Connecting to animals with JIN SHIN JYUTSU, or learning to. And of course, there's going to be self-help that you can do for yourselves as part of the teaching of that class. There's always the amalgamation or the incorporation of self-help on yourself, as well as then placing your hands on cats, dogs, maybe chicks. I don't know, I've never been to this particular venue, but I will be going that week. And it's going to be, I'm sure, joyful and an experience of learning. It always is. Personally, I never stop learning with JIN SHIN. And the more we can let go, the more we can be filled. So, with the last exhale, or not the last one forever, it's not the end, but with my final exhale, let's breathe in the new. Bless you all. Take good care. And thank you. See you soon.